what else should you keep in mind when I'm saying no spend down required? Maybe what you're thinking of is, I can give away all my assets, right? I don't have to spend them down. I can just gift them. Well, that's true and it's not true. If you are 5 years in advance of needing long-term care, then yes, you can give away your assets with no consequence for Medicaid eligibility, because Medicaid has what's called a 5-year look-back rule. And what that means is if you give away your assets within or 5 years in advance of needing care, Medicaid doesn't matter to them. So there are planning opportunities there. Sometimes there is a family legacy property. For example, a cabin, a lake cabin. That is something that you can give away so that it's not going to interfere with Medicaid eligibility or that it won't be subject to Medicaid's lien. Talk to an estate planning and elder law attorney if that's your situation. If you know you've got this property that you want to keep in the family forever, then there's planning that can be done. Not spend down, but it is transferring that asset out of your estate into, for example, an LLC, an irrevocable trust, something along those lines. There's some very good planning that can be done if you do it 5 years in advance. If you don't plan in advance, you can't wait to the last minute to give away your assets. If you do that, Medicaid says you gave away assets, you don't need our benefits. You should have used them for your own care. The rule is right now that if you give away $10,785, there's a 1-month penalty period of ineligibility. Where does that come from? That's the what the rate is for a nursing home currently. Right now we're in September of 2022. That's the penalty divisor, $10,785. So let's say you're not talking to an elder law attorney, so you're doing this on your own. You say, I have $150,000 too much. I'm just going to give it away to my daughter. If you do that, give away $150,000 using that penalty divisor, you'll have almost a 14-month period where you don't get Medicaid. How are you going to pay for your care? You gave away all your money. Medicaid won't impose this penalty period until you are down within resource limits and you apply. So bad plan. You've given away all your money. You have no way to pay for your care until you apply for Medicaid because you've impoverished yourself. This was all part of a terrible plan. So sometimes Medicaid will do what's called a hardship exemption. Typically, Medicaid will say, daughter, get back that $150,000. And if you can't give it back, they'll cover you for your care, but they'll impose 150% penalty against your daughter. Might be hard to collect, but that's what they'll do.